Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Yeah, you know what it is. Hard worker, scrappy, unfiltered, and sometimes unhinged football content. Hard to explain, but you know it when you see it. Doing it daily our way. I don't know what you're talking about right now. Redraft and Dynasty Fantasy Football, we got you covered. You know their defense is ranked like 31st in the NFL? NFL draft prospects and rookies? Now you know you in the right place for that.
Absolutely.
All right, then stop saying it. Then we're done. And prop bets with my man Jay Rich. Count that money, man. Now wipe the crust out of your eyes. Get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake your ass up with Ray G. You honestly are making absolutely no sense and you sound silly as hell. Good morning, 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 good people. It is Wednesday, March the 9th, 2022. Y'all know what it is, baby. It's your boy Ray G. This is Wake Up with Ray G. Jordan has infiltrated my screen, so my time to shine is over. Jay, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. It's funny. As you were giving your good mornings, I don't know what the counter is today. I know someone in the chat always gives us the good morning counter of the day. I honestly needed the breath just listening to you do that. But happy to be here. Good morning. No cold intro. It's going to be a good show. Tons of news yesterday. Excited to talk about it all today with you, bro.
Yeah, man. Excited, man. Got a lot of news, a lot of football stuff to talk about. Mike in the building, Terrence, Ricardo, Joe, my girl in the building, McNutted. What's happening with you, baby? 4D Chess in the building, Jim, James, the super chat maven himself. What's going down, man? It's going to be a good one. Yeah, a lot of news. We changed the thumbnail up a little bit. Like, we really wanted to take this time. Like, the Q&A is dope, and please continue to ask questions. But, like, just an episode where we could just talk value, right? Like, what the hell is going on in the fantasy market, right? Like, what are these players being valued at? What's going on? Who's the hot name? Who should we – I just learned yesterday, Jay, for the first time. I just learned. I had no clue how Keep Trade Cut sort of crowdsources their information. Like, I thought this was like, some mocks going on behind the scenes, but I didn't realize they get their data from when you first go to the website and it's asking you between the three players, would you keep, trade, cut one to get to the information. I'm just pressing shit. Like, I'm not really going through it and like, would I really keep him if it was, I'm just boom, 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 get me out of here so I can get to the information. But finding out like what really is behind that, I don't know how much you use keep, trade, cut, but I thought it was a little, fascinating how they crowdsource their information, and don't know if it's probably the most reliable source of ADP out there, but shout out to them, man. It's a cool little tool they have. But I just learned that, man. I didn't know.
What's funnier is that I've been seeing KTC on Twitter for, I don't know, a little while now, and I never knew what it meant. Didn't bother to look it up. Didn't bother to ask. And so yesterday, I believe it was actually McNutted, was like, yeah, it's keep, trade, cut. I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. Never heard of it. Never looked at it. Don't plan to. Not reliable. Stick to patreon.com/prospect talk. You'll be all right.
Yeah, man. Joe asking where a girl Jasmine was. They had a little romance on the show yesterday. There was a lot of babes getting called back and forth. Joe and Jasmine, the two J's. You got to watch out for those two troublemakers on the show. Jorgen, what's going on? Jorgen from Germany. What's in that espresso? Just a double shot. Just a little double shot to get the blood going, to get the juices flowing today. Let's go ahead and get all the promo stuff out the way first. How many days we got left? 2 days, Jay?
I believe so,
2 days left. 2 days left. pristineauction.com/register. You're automatically entered. Jonathan Taylor helmet. I got to send it off. I'm sending it out on time. Once we announce the winner on Friday, I'm putting it in the mail on Saturday so you can have that joint by like Monday or Tuesday. Shipping from Dallas, Texas. Get you that signed JT helmet. Use the code ALLGAS. That way, you get $10 off at Pristine Auction for anything that you get. Jerseys, all kinds of shit. I'm always on there. Prize Picks, you already know what it is. Tap in. Use the promo code WAKEUP. The NFL futures are out right now, Jay, and there are a couple of really soft lines, in my opinion, for NFL futures, and they're pretty much health bets. We'll get into Davante Adams a little bit later in the show, but they got CeeDee Lamb, his over-under receiving yard total at 1,200 yards this season, with no Amari Cooper, no Michael Gallup to start the season. If you want some free money, promo code WAKEUP. They match you dollar for dollar. First-time depositors up to 100. Make sure you tap into that. Subscribe to the YouTube feed. Subscribe to the Wake Up with Ray G podcast. Check out 4D Chess and Elite Seekers with Ben Eby and Off the Line, and everything that we got cooking underneath the umbrella is dope shit. We got popping, man. So, yeah, Jay, news, a lot of it, fast and furious out of the NFL yesterday. Franchise tags going down. We had big trades. We had re-signings. I mean, I think we're going to spend some time on this show. And then we also got a couple of trades, a couple of dynasty trades that we're going to take a look at and just talk through it, right? I want the people to tell us, are we wrong? Are we right? Are we way off base? Are these individuals...
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
You stopped me.
Marlon, $20 super chat. What did he say? This is a long one. Using Ray's method, my dynasty team is in the middle of the pack and not championship contenders. CMC might be on the move. Should I trade away CMC now or wait till CMC plays a few more games and try to get maximum value? Interesting.
We'll get there. I just put a star by it. Shout out Marlon. And then we also had another one from Timothy Clark. He has some questions, super chat. I got y'all favored. We'll get y'all. I got them up there on the screen. We'll get y'all answered. Joe said, I've never made a successful trade using Keep Trade. I didn't know. Like, I literally, yesterday we were talking in the Discord, and I was like, yo, how did I get this information? They're like, you know the joint you fill out when you go there? Literally, I'm just click. Like, give me to the shit that I need to see, right? Again, I'm not here to talk about Keep Trade Cut, but apparently a lot of people don't like it. The air horn is coming. Don't worry. I'm not gonna call it trash, man. But I didn't know what it was. But Jay, let's get into it, man. Like, there's no need to bury the damn lead. There are a couple of notes. Go ahead, go through the first part of the notes, and then we'll dive into the meat of what happened, man.
Yeah, so the small stuff that we're not going to really touch on too in depth is Jacksonville ended up tagging Cam Robinson, which is interesting because a lot of people had Evan Neal, the left tackle, going first overall. But now if they decide they obviously franchise tag Cam Robinson, does that mean they're going to take Evan Neal 101? Or is now the door open for Aiden Hutchinson to be the 101 like was kind of predicted around November, December when he was really on the rise? We'll see what happens, but that was an interesting development in the franchise tag game. And then two other ones that we saw that one was surprising, Dalton Shultz getting tagged by the Cowboys. Ray, you're probably not too happy about that, but another weapon for Dak Prescott to continue to succeed in Dallas. And Mike Gesicki, I don't know if I get it. You know, it's only $10 million, so it's not crazy, but was not expecting Mike Gesicki to get franchise tagged. We'll see what happens from there, but I don't know whether you want to get to throw Rogan himself or start with the Russell Wilson trade to Denver. But two massive developments in the NFL world, on top of Ian Rappaport getting lit on fire by Pat McAfee over the contract that he released about Aaron Rodgers, which apparently was not true. Not true at all. No $200 million contract in place. Nothing accepted. Nothing signed. But interesting to see the least. We'll see what happens with Rodgers. Davante Adams, obviously franchise tagged, knowing that Rodgers is going back. But the biggest news by far, Russell Wilson traded from Seattle to Denver in a massive trade, probably one of the biggest we've seen in the NFL in years. Seattle received 2 firsts, 2 second-round picks in 2022, 2023. Noah Fant, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and then there was a pick swap. I believe it was Denver's 5th-round pick for Seattle's 4th-round pick. Yeah, so a small little pick swap in 2022, but the meat of it was the 2 firsts, 2 seconds this year and next. And that gives Seattle the 109 this year. And it didn't even cross my mind until about middle of the day that they could be hunting quarterback with that 109 pick.
Yeah. So let's, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. The only thing that could have, we so rarely get NFL trades that actually mean something. So in my opinion, that was the biggest news of the day because we just don't see that, right? You don't see these type of players getting dealt. Like, it just doesn't happen often in the NFL. I want to touch on Cam Robinson real quick. Somebody asked, what the hell is Jacksonville doing? I don't know. I cannot speak to how good Cam Robinson was or was not last year. I truly do not know. We all know that the Jacksonville offensive line as a collective wasn't very good. Trevor Lawrence didn't have a lot of time. He was a young quarterback. Maybe he contributed to some of the sacks that he took. I don't know if Cam Robinson is good or bad. I don't know that. But if you're franchising a left tackle, like you didn't franchise Cam Robinson, who played left tackle, to move him to right tackle. Now, you can still draft an Evan Neal or an Ekwonu and start him on the right side, right? Like, you can do that. Dallas Cowboys did that with Tyron Smith. They still had Flozell Adams, I believe, on the left side. They draft Tyron Smith. He only played over there for a year, right? There was only 1 year, and then he transitioned to the left. Penei Sewell, Detroit Lions, top pick this year, played right. When the left tackle got hurt, he moved him over to left. So I don't think this precludes Jacksonville from taking an offensive lineman, but it definitely makes it a little less clear it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion they were going to go Ekwonu or Evan Neal. Now, there's some ambiguity there. They could still go that direction, and I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, you get Evan Neal's already said, I could play wherever, right? Ekwonu could play wherever. So you draft that guy because he's the best talent, best thing for your team with your young quarterback protecting him. Even if you put him at the right side, I don't think Trevor Lawrence would be upset about having two bookends at tackle on the offensive line. But I do think it opens the door for maybe a Kayvon Thibodeau, maybe a Aiden Hutchinson at the top of the first. We'll see how that plays out. Mike Gesicki being tagged by the Dolphins, something that a lot of people didn't expect. Not good for Hunter Long and the Hunter Long truthers out there. Good for Mike Gesicki. Oversized wide receiver is essentially what he is. Played well with Tua last year. A lot of people really don't like him, but he's got value now. He's got some insulation, some protection. They probably work out a long-term deal. Maybe the new head coach, Mike McDaniel. Is it McDaniel or McDaniels? Is it McDaniel or an S?
That's a good question.
I
don't know.
Both.
Maybe he turns him into George Kittle. Like, I guess that's the hope, right?
Well, I say it fast to just kind of like Mike McDaniel, so that it kind of just blends in. Maybe he's got plans for Mike Gesicki. So, I mean, whatever, right? They need weapons. It's really Jalen Waddle and nobody else out there to throw the ball to. So, makes a lot of sense in my opinion. But to Russell Wilson. So, let's just talk Russell Wilson and what this means for Denver, the team. Massive upgrade. No matter how you slice it, when you go from Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock and Kendall Hilton, Milton, whoever the Kendall was that played a couple of years ago that had never played quarterback since high school, when you go from that to Russell Wilson, that's an instant boost to the Denver offense, no matter how you slice it, right? I'm not going to be prisoner of the moment and say this elevates Denver to the championship contending. You still got to get through. I compare it to levels in like final bosses, right? You still level one boss, Derek Carr and the Raiders. You got to get through Derek Carr and Waller and Max Crosby. You beat level one. You normally can get through level one. You get through level one, now you got level two. Now you got to deal with Justin Herbert and Joey Bosa and Derwin James and Austin Eckler and the Chargers. And if you somehow get through level two, then you get to M. Bowser, the final boss, right? Fucking M. Bison, Bowser, final boss. You got to get through Kansas City. Does Russell Wilson and that offense have enough firepower to get through KC, to get through the Chargers, to get through the Raiders? It's a tough division, man. I think it's the most competitive division in football, the AFC West. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. But the real winners and losers of the situation are the pass catchers from Seattle, losers, and the pass catchers from the Denver Broncos, winners. And we talked about Noah Fant being dealt. Jay, I don't know how you feel about Noah Fant. I was never in on Noah Fant like that. Like, when he first came out, I'm like, yes, it can happen. He could be a top 5 dynasty tight. I still don't know why he has the ranking that he does. People value him as tight end 7, tight end 8. You know, Dalton Schultz may not have the name cachet, definitely not the athlete that Noah Fant is, but there's no doubt in my mind, if I'm rolling into next year's fantasy season, I'd much rather the number 2 option on the Dallas Cowboys in Dalton Schultz opposed to Noah Fant and whatever it is he's going to do with Drew Lock in Seattle. It seems like it's a dumpster fire. Not only did they trade away Russell Wilson, they're saying that they're prepared to move Tyler Lockett, which they should, embrace the tank, embrace the rebuild, and they're going to release 8-time Pro Bowl linebacker Bobby Wagner. So this seems like a full wholesale rebuild for Seattle, which if they were going to go this route, trading 2 firsts for Jamal Adams, just asinine, makes 0 sense. I heard my man Nate List, shout out Nate List, talked about they should have gotten more back. If you're going to trade Russell Wilson off of your roster, you need to get something more back than the 109 Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, and a couple of picks. Still got to hit on those picks. I do think quarterback is where they're probably going to go in the first round. Can they roll through the season with Drew Lock? Sure. And if they want to full-fledged tank and play this game that, we like the quarterback, we think we can develop Drew Lock, perfect guy to fall on the sword for a 2-15 season is Drew Lock, right? And then hopefully they get a high enough draft capital to get a CJ Stroud, potentially a Bryce Young. We'll see what Will Levis does. But overall, Jay, it's the wide receivers, right? What are we doing with DK Metcalf? How high do you elevate a Jerry Jeudy now? How high are you moving up a Cortland Sutton? Where do you value Noah Fant? Some people I know that I talked to yesterday moved DK out of their top 12 wide receivers in Dynasty. Outside of the top 12, goodbye, you're out of the top 12. Just what are your feelings around these situations, man?
First off, I want to give a shout out to Matt Bruning, who sent me $5 in the super chat to pay my Christian Watson bet. So thank you, Matt. I'm going to need it. But talking about DK, honestly, if there's one guy I'm not concerned about, it's actually DK Metcalf, because I think there's one of two schools of thought. You either believe DK Metcalf is an elite wide receiver or at least can command an elite target share, at which point it shouldn't matter who his quarterback is. He should have 150 targets every year, at which point he can produce to somewhere of the realm of 90 to 100 receptions, 1,200 to 1,500 yards, depending on the situation in the quarterback play. So from that standpoint, if you take Tyler Lockett out of the equation, why isn't DK Metcalf going to be a top receiver from a target share perspective? Why can't he have a ton of yards? Why can't he have a ton of touchdowns? I don't know. I think it depends on how you feel about DK. When DK got drafted, I believed that it was a perfect storm for him as a player and for him to develop. Now he has developed. He's shown what he can do in the NFL. And so I think there's definitely a good chance that he can continue to be a star in the NFL. It's just it may not be the ceiling that we hoped for without Russell Wilson. But if we're projecting things like target share, Deontay Johnson was a great wide receiver last year, and it was simply because he got a ton of targets. And I think DK Metcalf can do the same type of thing, at which point he can be a top 12, top 15 wide receiver in the NFL, no problem. Lockett, we'll see. He's probably going to be traded. I think the biggest thing for me that I noticed kind of looking at all the news yesterday was that Washington apparently offered 3 first-round picks for Russell Wilson, and essentially the Seattle Seahawks just said no, they don't want to trade him in the NFC, which is, I get it, but I still don't. It just feels like such an old way of thinking. If someone's going to give you 3 first-round picks for a player, why are you not taking that? I guess, 2 firsts and 2 seconds is fine, but Fant, I think I hear where you're coming from, but the problem with Fant is just he was so highly touted from his sophomore season.
I know.
He was tight end 1.
I get it.
No questions. TJ Hawkinson, nobody even knew who he was.
I get it.
Fant, first-round pick, only 25 years old, coming off back-to-back 90-target seasons. Hopefully there's more opportunity for him, but again, the quarterback play is still terrible. I don't know. I mean, if you can get him for a reasonable price, why not?
Everyone. So Mike said spicy Schultz over Fant. 89 targets in 2020 at 24 years old, 63 receptions, 615, 4 touchdowns, 104 targets last year, doesn't miss games, 78 receptions, 808, 8 touchdowns. I mean, he will be the number 2 option in Dallas. Do y'all understand that? He's going to be the number 2 option on a high-powered offensive team. They paid Dak Prescott 75 million M's last year. He's going to throw the ball. No Gallup. They release Amari Cooper, and I don't care if they take, and I'm saying it right now, if Treylon Burks is on the clock at 24 when Dallas is up, he's going to be a Dallas Cowboy. If Treylon Burks is on the clock at 24, Jerry Jones, being an Arkansas alum, paying for his grandson to go play quarterback at Arkansas, Jerry probably wants to buy the University of Arkansas, Treylon Burks will be a Dallas Cowboy. I want Dalton Shultz. I don't think that's spicy. What's up? 2 back. If Noah Fant did what Dalton Shultz did last year, we'd be over the moon happy. It's just the fact that the dude was, 4th-round pick, supposed to be usurped by Blake Jarwin. I don't think it's spicy at all. I mean, you talk about production, age. He's done it 2 years, from 2014 at 24 years old, 25 years old. Right now, I would 100% trade you Noah Fant for Dalton Schultz plus, if that's where you think the value lies in that situation. And no, this isn't a Tony Gwynn jersey. It's a Fernando Tatis jersey. So I'm not as concerned about DK Metcalf either. When you've got somebody that size, that athleticism, we saw DeAndre Hopkins be dominant with Tom Savage and all kinds of shit quarterbacks. So as long as Drew Lock can bomb it to DK down the field, hyper target him, I'll bet on the volume. The situation will improve. I do believe that they are going to target a quarterback at 9, and I think Matt Corral fits that offense to a T. You've already had a quarterback who ran some RPO stuff in Russell Wilson in that offense with Pete Carroll. You get Matt Corral in Seattle, and I think that's a good pairing. Matt Corral plus DK Metcalf. They probably find another receiver later to build around him. Get some offensive line help. Start the rebuild out the right way. Trade Tyler Lockett. I'm in. Jerry Jeudy, of course, gets the value bump, right? He bumps up. Cortland Sutton you're catching passes from Russell Wilson. This has got to be a good thing for all those Denver wide receivers. Am I out today trying to buy any of them? Albert O, you send me a second-round pick for Albert O, first-class ticket off my roster. Jerry Jeudy, if his value now bumped up, let's say, I know our man Eugene talked about before the trade that he would send a first-rounder for Jerry Jeudy. So if you could trade, Jay, if you had the 108, 107, 108, would you rather the 107, 108 in 2022 or Jerry Jeudy?
Oh, I think I'd still take the pick. I like Judy, though. I hope that he can return to where he should be, and that's somewhere in the top 20 at wide receiver. I hope that Russ can really take him to the next level, but I think today I'm holding the pick. It hurts. Hurts to say that.
Yeah, I'd rather have the pick.
I think it's the right thing to do.
Jeudy. I think that's the thing. Dallas is taking a wide receiver if they like who's there. And I'm telling you, Jerry Jones's love and unhealthy affection for Arkansas, if Burks is there and they release Amari Cooper, no Michael Gallup, lock it in, Treylon Burks to the Dallas Cowboys. All right, we talked a little bit about, so real quick, just overall, Che, are you buying or selling any of the wide receivers? A lot of people are asking, do you move Javonte Williams up? I mean, he's already, in my opinion, like Dynasty RB3, 4. Like, he's not, I can't move him up any higher, but this definitely helps out. He should be more efficient on his touches. When you've got a quarterback, the level and the stature of Russell Wilson, this helps out. This helps out Javonte Williams, right? He should have more more room to run, should be involved. We'll see how he does, Russell Wilson checking it down. Javonte, what was surprising this year was how involved he was in the passing game. So hopefully he continues that. Good. If I were a Broncos fan right now, I would not mind giving up what they gave up. I think that was kind of light to get a Russell Wilson. And the next domino to kind of fall is let's pay attention to what happens with Deshaun Watson. They said that his legal issues, there should be some more clarity this week with Deshaun Watson. And I think he could be the next quarterback on the move. Maybe Carolina giving up that 106 to Houston, help with their rebuild. That'd be awesome for Houston. If they can get a 106, second rounder, a future first rounder, Deshaun Watson probably on the move very, very soon, Jay. But Aaron Rodgers, I fucking told you. Wasn't going anywhere. All the drama, all the stuff surrounding Aaron Rodgers is staying put in Green Bay. Whether it's $200 million, $500 million, $100 million, I don't know what he's getting. He's getting $100-something million. He's getting a big deal. He's in Green Bay. Davante Adams is back. Green Bay looks foolish for taking Jordan Love in the first. They should have gone wide receiver. And I bet you Aaron Rodgers told them, whenever we pick, I want the best receiver that's on the board. If that's Jahan Dotson, sign me up. If it's George Pickens, if it's Treylon Burks, whomever it is, draft me a damn wide receiver. MVS, probably gone. Allen Lazard, probably gone. I'll tell you who's a sneaky, low-key, lowest-key buy or go get off your waiver wire, Josiah DeGuara. Robert Tonyan, ACL tear, free agent. You're talking about a young tight end going into his third year, drafted on day 2 by the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers showed some trust and faith in him down late towards the end of the season. Not telling you to go out there and trade second rounders for Josiah DeGuara. Not telling you to spend any significant draft capital. Just go check your waiver wire. See if DeGuara is on waivers. If he is, good chance he rolls into the 2022 season as the starter. We'll see. I've seen some mocks where Trey McBride is mocked to him. That's just pie in the sky shit, right? Until the NFL draft happens, I think DeGuara is a good low bargain bin, can get off waiver wires, a throw-in, the absolute throwest of throw-ins in a deal. Just go ahead and stash him, man. And if they don't invest in a tight end and he is the starting tight end for Green Bay, that's awesome. Already some rapport and chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. But, Jay, Aaron Rodgers, how you feeling about him in Dynasty now?
I'm feeling good. I mean, what is there to say? He's back where he belongs. Davante Adams is with him. A.J. Dillon's stock continues to rise. Aaron Jones' stock stays intact. Jordan Love is going to be on the bench where he probably belongs. And so I'm fine with it. I mean, the funny thing is I was going to ask you as you're talking about all this, I'm like, so what do we do with Amari Rodgers? How do we feel about Amari Rodgers, third-round pick out of 2021?
I'm flaccid.
No potential buy window now for Amari Rodgers. Had a bad rookie season coming into his sophomore year. No, not feeling it.
No, completely flaccid. I'm unmoved by Amari Rodgers. Unmoved.
So either way, Rodgers,
no blood
two-time
is
MVP,
flowing.
looking good. Still,
Yeah.
I think we talked about it yesterday. I think he's, somewhere between 10 and 12 as far as dynasty quarterbacks go. If you want to go compete early, draft some good running backs, try and get Aaron Rodgers your QB1. It's a great strategy. I employed it myself in a recent league, and it's looking pretty good. Davante still is punching the air.
Amari is
Oh,
wet
man.
blanket. Thank you.
Oh.
The people come to my defense today. And you and Mike have a feud. You and Mike have a feud. Mike thinks Jay Rich is the worst dynasty player of all time, but I think Jay's gonna have something to say about this in a second, right? Oh God. What did Bruning say? He didn't have a bad rookie season. Oh gosh, is Bruning a Amari Rodgers truther? Is Bruning a truther? All right. So let's talk Aaron Rodgers, right? And there was a trade that happened. Jay, let's look at this trade.
Oh, yeah.
For Aaron Rodgers that happened 6 days ago. Let's let the people tell us what they think about this one. So this is the 4D. We're putting 4D on blast today, all right?
Oh,
this is the
40 on 40 crime.
Crime or collusion, one or the other. It was. I should have reversed this shit. This was after a series of other equally terrible trades. Superflex, best ball. Would you all, good people, rather have Aaron Rodgers or 2025 draft picks, right? 2025. I love college. I couldn't tell you who's even eligible.
Carlos Del Rio, 101.
There you go. Carlos Del Rio, Ryan Tannehill. And let me give some context to this. This is after the other half of 4D acquired of Davante Adams. So you trade away Aaron Rodgers for Ryan Tannehill in 2025 picks in Superflex. What say the people? And they're flowing in. Give it to him.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, woof. Bad trade. Bruning, Arch Manning, Tim Clark laughing, 2025. This is, listen, we got more super chat. Listen, I got all the super chats. It's going to be Air Horn City in a minute. This is bad.
This is awful. This is bad.
When I saw this, and if I pulled up the series of trades that happened to get to this point, you all would throw up in your mouths right now. This, I don't understand it. You're selling off. I don't care if it's 3 years. You got at least 2 years. Let's just assume his contract is fully guaranteed for 2 years. If I'm going to trade Aaron Rodgers, I don't want 2025 picks. What are you doing?
He's gonna be retired by then.
There's something about getting ahead of the curve. I get it. You want to get 2023s, fine. You want to get 2024 picks, okay. This is silly. This is asinine, right? This is. I have no words.
That trade is awful.
And then
really bad though.
And then McNutted wants to tell us how bad our trades are, and then this is what happens between he and his league mates. So we got some more stuff that we're gonna see, right? We got some more interesting deals that we're gonna pull up. But another big move, Jay, and good for the player, not as good for my destination. We're just gonna get this out of the way now. We'll just get this out. I'll send him his damn money back. $20, defending champ in the league. Here, have some of those winnings back. So Mike beat me in the championship round. And it's like he never won anything in his life. I'm a content creator. I play in leagues for promotional purposes only. Yes, you won in the championship, and you bought your way to another championship this year. Congratulations. No skill required. All you did was take advantage of your co-host, and you bought yourself another title. But thank you for the super chat. We're not going to, get the hell out of here. Messes up where I was going. Player that got a big deal yesterday, Jay. Mike Williams. 60 M's. 40 of them guaranteed. That was the landing spot that we kept talking about. Drake London, Jameson Williams, Garrett Wilson. I think that's all but dead now. When you pay Mike Will that type of money, and good for Mike Williams. When you pay him that type of money, I don't think they're going to invest their number 17 overall pick in a wide receiver. This one hurt. This one hurt a little bit. I was banking on a DJ Chark. I was banking on a Garrett Wilson, a Drake London, a Chris Olave at least. What are your thoughts on Mike Williams? I'll tell you this. If I had Mike Williams today, he would be on the trade block in every league that I have him. Every
100%.
league. Every
100%.
league. Every league.
100%.
Every league. He's on the trade
His
block.
value should not be going up. He is in the same situation he was in before. He was a great receiver at the beginning of the year. He was inconsistent, and I think that's what he's going to be. He's been inconsistent his entire career. So why is he magically now, because he has $40 million, going to be a consistent wide receiver? I don't know why people think that. His deal is front-loaded, first of all, so I don't have any reason to believe he could be there after 2 years. It's a fine contract for Mike, but his value does not change. His value was a little bit lower because he's on the trade block, may switch teams, but now he's on the same team he was on before, so there's no reason why his value should switch. It shouldn't go up drastically. It should just stay where it was. He's with Herbert. That's great if you have him, but if he has a couple boom weeks, just like last season, you should be selling him, no question.
What would you be looking to get? It's a good question, Patrick. What would you be looking to get? I
love the nickname. Mike Will made it. I've been calling him that for years.
Yeah,
it's just the best.
Shout out.
I would be looking for a first and second if I could get it. I think you have to start with a first, but I mean, it depends. Second. You're not. I don't think you can trade Mike Williams for less than a first. Like, what are you doing at that point? He's not a bad wide receiver.
Maybe McNutted could go back to Adam and get a 2025 trade a 2025 second for him. Maybe that'll get it done. But I think I would be looking to get a first, right? And I think you can use he's tethered to Justin Herbert for the next 3 years.
100%.
He's the high flyer. Keenan Allen is old. He's going to be the alpha. Maybe a first and a second is the way to go. Maybe that is. Maybe I'm underselling it a little bit. But he would 100% be on the fucking chopping block today. Like, I'm trying to get out of that. Use this excitement, this hype, and the landing, right, the spot that he's at. Like, they're not going to take a receiver. He's locked into Justin Herbert. I think a first-round pick of 100% I'd be trying to get for Mike Williams, Jay. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's a
Ray,
first
did you
and a
see
second.
Jeremy Clark in the chat? This is an interesting question for you. It's pretty easy for me, but I think this one will pull to your heartstrings a little bit more. Cortland Sutton or Mike Williams, straight up. Who would you pick in this situation now?
Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the same. I don't think Sutton's going to be drastically better. I'd still be trying to trade him too with this value bump and rust, right?
All right, let's get a couple of these super chat questions popping. So we're going to start up. This was just love. There we go, Derek. Appreciate you. And this is Canadian.
Derek.
How much is that in U.S. dollars?
Oh, this is one of my cousins. Let's go. Derek, what's good?
Son of a bitch. Family love in the building. Family.
Yes, sir.
That's my money then, man. You sent that to me. It's my $10.
That's about $5. So
there we go. Thank you, Derek.
Not
Thank
bad.
you. Gas is
Appreciate it,
high.
Derek.
Gas is high. We also had James in the building. Super chat. Skrilla Vanilla.
Let's
Air
go.
horn. I got you, James. James is a new patron, man. Is this really him on the YouTube picture? James, is this you? I don't want to fool with you, man. James looks like he's with the shits. All right, here we go. Super chat. Tim Clark. Start 2 tight end league. Pat Freiermuth in 202 or Calvin Ridley, Irv Smith in 110. All right. Start 2 tight ends. I hate start 2 tight end leagues, bro. I hate them. I created a league that start 2 tight ends, and I've got Noah Fant and Jeff Swaim is my 2 tight ends. It's not good. I'm not good in there. Start 2 tight end league. Freiermuth in 202 or Ridley, Irv Smith in 110. For me, it's pretty easy. It's Freiermuth in 202. I get the buy low on Ridley. Ridley needs to shut up. If I'm his agent, his lawyer, zip it. Zip. What is that? The Austin Powers zip it thing? Yeah. Zip it. Be quiet. Shut up, Calvin Ridley. Like, listen, there's some YouTube comments yesterday that completely corrected my age of Calvin Ridley. That actually, he was born in 1991, which would make him 27, and by then he'd be 29.75. He's old. He's going to be old by the time he comes back. Hadn't played football in 2 years. This is an easy one. Give me Pat Freiermuth, 202. You're staring down Jahan Dotson. Even if you wanted to take another tight end there, which you don't have to, right? But 2 tight end leagues that may get propelled up, you're still looking at Jalen Weidemeyer or a Trey McBride, probably a George Pickens. Give me Pat Freiermuth in 202 easy in that case. All right, this is a big one. I gotta break it down. In RayGQue, these eyes aren't 2020. Using Ray's method, my dynasty team is in the middle of the. So wait a minute. Is he saying because of my method, his dynasty team is middle of the road?
He's saying that you're no good and you have to fix his team now.
All right. Well, let's see what we can do. CMC might be on the move. Should I trade away CMC now? Well, what is my method? My method is draft good players. Should I trade away CMC now or wait until CMC plays a few games and try to get max value? Yeah. I mean, once he's on the field, right? After that first game where he scores 38 fantasy points, I mean, his value's back up. There's still people out there that love CMC, man. He's still a first-round Dynasty startup pick. He's still one of the best, man. If he's on the field and playing, the only other running back that I see outscoring him is Jonathan Taylor. Just what CMC does. Somebody had a crazy stat out there that, did you see it in the Discord the other day, that if CMC never took a carry ever in his career, he still averages like 13.1 fantasy points per game without a single carry in his career.
Wow.
That's insane, right? Because that's what happens when you get running backs that can catch the ball. That's why we're so bullish on DeAndre Swift and, Javonte Williams catching passes. Not saying he's CMC, but without ever taking a carry in his career, he's still averaging 13.1 fantasy points per game. CMC on the field is RB1 in fantasy. Like, he's RB1. I'm going to go on the field and healthy. There's no running back that's going to score you more points than Christian McCaffrey. What do you do in this situation? Maybe you need to wait a little bit. Like, for me, in the way that I dynasty, I'm never in a rush to make a trade, right? I have no problem saying, let's wait and see. Like, let's circle back in a couple of weeks, couple of months. Just wait. I think you just wait on CMC. I saw some stuff about the Arizona Cardinals potentially interested in trading for him. He gets a situational upgrade. Perceived value, like perception is reality, right? And if the perception is that's an upgraded situation with the quarterback, with the offense, they're trading for him, then the reality is his value is going to spike up. So I think having Christian McCaffrey, that's a good bag to hold right now. Like, worst case scenario, you're not sitting on an extremely depreciating asset at this point in time. I think all CMC's value can do personally is move up a little bit, at least for the short term, right? At least for as soon as training camp comes and you see that sculpted body, shirt off, abs, chiseled jawline, people look at that shit, right? People are like, man, he looks good, best shape of his life, still 25 years old. So I said just hold CMC for a little bit unless you get something crazy for him. Right now, what would you accept for Christian McCaffrey? Like, it would have to be
2 firsts.
If you could assure yourself Breece Hall in a 2023 first, would you do that for CMC?
Oh, 100%. But I think that's unrealistic. You're asking for the 101 and a 20. I think so, yeah.
You think so?
I don't think someone's going to trade if you're set on Breece Hall at 101, you're not going to trade Breece Hall.
But there's some people who aren't. There's some people. I'm still seeing people have Kenneth Walker as RB1. I'm still seeing people, Breece Hall. Look at the comments from yesterday. There's 30 thread comment about people thinking too highly of Breece Hall. Oh, y'all are tripping.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm taking Breece Hall over J.K. Dobbins. There's no way I'm taking. So you've got people out there that still say J.K. Dobbins over Breece Hall, Najee Harris over Breece Hall, Travis Etienne over Breece Hall. So I think there's a world in which if you have a CMC, every league is different. I think Breece Hall or 101, 102. Okay, let's take it another direction. Kenneth Walker in a 2023 first. Would you do that for Christian McCaffrey?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I think for me, a move that I actually made this year that I think I would kind of just tell people this is a move I would consider for Christian McCaffrey is like if you add a player to him and try and get 3 firsts, right? Like if you add a player to Christian McCaffrey and try and
you're not getting CMC and you're not getting CMC in 3 picks. You're not getting CMC.
I'm saying CMC plus another player. Like you add a player to it to get off of him and try and pull 3 firsts in 3 seconds. Like, I think that's a doable trade. It's a trade I did with Saquon. Need to get off Saquon. He had a couple of good games, or his value starts to go up a little bit. Maybe you add a little bit to it, and you just ship this guy off for 6 picks and see what happens, right? Like, this is a great trade. You talk about this trade that Gene made, Javonte Williams for J.K. Dobbins and a 23 first. I love this trade. I love it.
For what side?
I love it for Gene. And the reason why is because he's getting a running back that I think you can count on versus a running back you hope you can count on. I love the 23 first, but if you have a good team and you need a running back you can count on week after week, I think that's Javonte Williams. I don't think we know what J.K. Dobbins' floor ceiling mix is because we know Lamar's going to take away yards. We know Lamar's going to take away touchdowns. The 23 first, let's say it's a mid first, that's usually how we value first in following years. I think this is a great trade. Like J.K. Dobbins is maybe a 3rd round startup pick, maybe right now. And Javonte Williams is basically a 1st round pick. He's back end first in super flex leagues, or he's, early second. I think that's a massive value bump. Like I think you got to pay at least a 1st, maybe even more in some leagues to go from to get Javonte Williams with J.K. Dobbins.
Man, like part of me agrees with both sides of this. Like I'm seeing, like Joe said, Dobbins and Akers overhyped. Some people say it's good for both sides. Dobbins on a team that doesn't have room for RB1. How old is CMC? I think he's 25. I think he just turned 25, which is crazy. I believe CMC just turned 25. Another person, Dobbins is overhyped. 26 in June.
He's turning 26.
He's turning 26. Yeah, he's 25, turning 26. I would rather Javonte Williams for sure. Like, I would rather Javonte Williams. And I'm just asking, I don't know, right? Is the gap between, because it just looked, based on training camp and preseason, it looked like JK was on his way to smashing. Like, he just looked good in going into last season. He just looked good, like, for whatever that's worth, which is not much. But what's the gap between Javonte Williams and J.K. Dobbins? Like,
I think a lot.
Well, let's just go off of what the books say. Right now, Javonte Williams' over-under rushing yard total is 1,100 yards. And I remember I took that bet on Prize Picks. And you were kind of like, I don't know if he can get 1,100. I don't know. I think that's around J.K. Dobbins' floor, right? And that line is set as his ceiling, not his floor.
I think things change now, though, right? You can't stack the box now against Javonte Williams because of Russell Wilson. So it's a big factor for me, right? And like you said, and your argument was Javonte Williams had 900 yards on 200 carries. This year, he'll probably have 250 carries, and he'll probably have a better yards per carry because defenders won't be able to be in the box against him. And J.K. Dobbins, I think the problem is we haven't seen him. And to be fair, that's hurt his value, but not his talent. The talent is still there.
The comments are why these trades are always interesting, right? Some people are saying, are you serious? Williams is miles ahead of Dobbins, right? That's what's up.
From a value perspective, for sure.
Then from a value perspective, yes, I'm just talking about what they can produce. And then some people are Dobbins is underrated. This is why these things there's always two sides to how people view these players. I didn't say which side I liked or not. I liked the 2023 first, but I'm just saying so would you accept that tier down? If you had Javonte Williams, would you tear down? Because, yes, Javonte Williams is ahead of J.K. Dobbins. I know that. I'm not fucking saying that. But would that be a tear down move that you're willing to make? To tear down from Javonte to J.K. Dobbins and we project mid to late because we're not going to project high first. So the 107 to 112 in 2023, is that a tear down that you'd be willing to make?
No, and the reason why is because I think it's light from a value perspective. I think where you're right is that it could be a lot closer from a production perspective, but I think from a value perspective, you're probably not getting what you should for basically a top 5 running back right now. And J.K. Dobbins is maybe a top 15 running back. Okay. So I think it's a significant tear down from a value perspective. And that's why I like the Javonte side, because he's only going to get more and more hyped. And if you want to flip him later, you could probably get more. Here's
what Mike said. If the first is early, smash. So 101 through 105, smash for a tear down. If the first is late, give me Javonte. That's where I'm at. We're just talking through it, man.
Makes sense.
We're just talking through it. All right, the last one we're going to take a look at. This is the one you think it's just terrible. We both
think it's terrible.
A lot of people think it's terrible. All right. So McNutted back on the heat. So Mike, 4D, make sure you tap into 4D chess, traded away Jamar Chase. And he got the 112 this year, a 2024 first, the 201 and the 205. So let's pull up some ADP, right? Like, so 112 based on the ADP, right? Like, based on the ADP, let's pull this up. 112 would be George Pickens. Why am I blocking myself? I want to be seen. Let's block you off. All right. 112, George Pickens, Olave, Rashad White. 201, Ritter, White. 205, David Bell, Jahan Dotson territory. Is that enough for you to move off of Jamar Chase?
No, God, no. Are you serious? Mike traded away Jamar Chase for 4 second-round picks. That's what he did. He can say, oh, well, the 201 is basically a first. It's as close to the first as the 212 is to a second.
I'm gonna let you have it because
This is a terrible trade.
you and Mike went back and forth on this deal, and Mike is defending it. He said this is
He can defend it, but it's just okay. So this is the reason why it's bad, people. Mike has his philosophy. He likes to tear down. One, he didn't tear down. He didn't get any receivers in the deal. That's the biggest L of all. He didn't even abide by his own philosophy. You want to trade for the picks? That's fine. I get it. You want those sexy draft picks. You're all in love with the 22 class. But people, from a value perspective, this is a terrible trade. Jamar Chase is worth 3 first-round picks. He's a top 10 startup pick. You don't trade that away for 3 second-round picks and a 24 first. We already talked about how far away 25 is. Well, 24 is just as far away. So unless he's banking on getting Trayvon Henderson at the 101 with that draft pick, this just ain't it. And do not do this. If you're tearing down, actually tear down. Don't just take picks and pray you are the God's given best drafter in the world. That's just my opinion. I wouldn't
Shots
do it.
fired, baby. Shots fired. I fucking love it. Talk that shit, Jay Rich. Talk it, baby. Yeah, I didn't like it either. When I saw it in the Discord, I said I hate it, bro. Like that's for me. That's not the tear down I'm trying to make. Now, let's just say hypothetically that first rounder was top.
It has to be the 101. Like it has to be Trayvon Henderson, or it's a terrible trade.
No. I'm talking 2022. If that 112 is, let's just say Brees or Kenneth Walker, because for right now those are our top 2 running backs, right? Brees or Kenneth Walker. Would that make any difference if that was Brees Hall and the 2024 first?
Well, you're saying if you're taking the 112 out?
Yeah, if you're taking that out.
If it's Brees Hall, I think you're pretty close. Yeah, I think you're pretty close. I don't think it's not Brees Hall. It's about 11 picks behind that. But yeah, I think you're getting closer. I think for me, it's just Jamar Chase is a tough guy to sell unless you're really giving me a lot. Like the dude is going to be really good for a long time. We saw the way Justin Jefferson maintained value.
To me, this is a forced trade. This is, listen, as my advice as content creators, I know that we have our thing, right? Like our thing. This is our thing. And sometimes you lean hard into that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna show you, damn it. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, and I'm gonna tear down. Sometimes it's okay to say I'm not gonna do that. Sometimes it's okay to just put the phone down. Don't press accept. Don't press send. In no world, no universe, no planet, the multiverse, AT&T Uverse, I am not trading Jamar Chase for 2 second-round picks. Essentially 3 second-round picks because the 112, all the tier 1 guys are gone. Unless you're saying I just want darts, I just think there's nothing that screams this is a good deal in my opinion. Like nothing. Like everything about that trade just looks stank, bro. Everything about like there's no. Like you sold Jamar Chase 60 cents on the dollar. You sold him 60 cents on the dollar. I mean,
maybe if he's lucky, he got 60 cents on the dollar. I would say he sold them for 40 cents on the dollar. You need to get like a top 6 draft pick. That to me is the hardest part. Is like if maybe you're like, okay, well, I love Garrett Wilson, I love Treylon Burks, I love Drake London. Then maybe you can get some of that back if they hit and you believe in them. But you can't even get that. You're looking at another tier down. So it's a tough trade to make for the number 1 wide receiver in football from a value perspective. Unless you want to think it's Justin Jefferson, in which case I'm fine with that too. But, we'll see. Okay. It's a tough trade to look at. Again, sorry, Mike, but we had to dig it up.
Yeah, well, here we go, man. It's good to kind of talk some values. It would have been nice. What I should have done is pull up some Jamar Chase trades. I was trying to pull some up in the back to see kind of where people are giving up to get Jamar Chase. But every Wednesday, we're talking value. So if you got trades, if you got questions, let's take a couple of questions, Jay, for if we got any in here. Everyone's just roasting old Mike right here. Look at this one. Worst trade I've seen in a long time, just to show you that Knob Creek and trading don't mix. Yeah, you probably want to leave that alone, man. Get that Casamigos so to have you feeling just right. giving away Jamar Chase probably isn't a good strategy. There you go. All right. I love it. I love it. Well, what are we doing tomorrow, Jay? What do people want to do tomorrow? What are people want to do?
Well, we could ask them what they want to do. Remember, we were planning on doing a 1 QB ADP check, or a mock draft, kind of one or the other. But I don't know. We already gave them a little bit of a taste. I guess we could go through it again. We could go through it again, more in detail, not so much.
Mock draft with them, like live on the show.
Ooh,
you want to do that?
Another live mock.
Let's do it.
Are they gonna be there? I can't.
Man,
no
listen,
auto.
If you sign, don't put the shit up until like 5 minutes before
I'm put
the
up
show.
right away. I did, and still people.
If you join the mock, stay and do the damn mock. Right? We're only doing 10 seconds a pick. Just get through it, or 30 seconds a pick. 30 seconds a pick. We're doing a mock with y'all live. Tap in, be here. Go to Pristine Auction, register with the code ALLGAS so you can get entered in the JT Helmet giveaway. Use the promo code WAKEUP. Jump on those NFL future lines. We're doing a single quarterback mock. Maybe we'll do 2. Maybe we'll try to do 2. Yeah, we'll do 2. We'll compare them, talk about. Single quarterback is brutal. And that's where we're going to see the changes, man, is single quarterback, right? Because all the QBs get bumped down. We'll do a mock with y'all tomorrow. Be here. Tap in live. We appreciate all the super chats, all the comments, all the love. You know it's all love. Make sure you tap into 4D chats. Mike and Adam are dope. Gene and Ike and Off the Line Fantasy. Ben Ebies with the Young Cats. Make sure you follow everything that Jordan's laying down. Make sure you follow him, man. He's putting some good tips out there. If you want to be a content creator, he gives out free nuggets all the time. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all tapping in. Have a fantastic Wednesday, and we'll be here with y'all tomorrow. We out of this thing. Peace.